Good afternoon. I just wanted to pop on here quickly just to share with you some thoughts that have been going through my head today. As some of you will know, I've been pulling out a motivation card, an aspiration card every morning, following a kind of a program that I'm doing at the moment. The card that I pulled out this morning was I am extraordinary. And I kind of ruminated a little bit about that in my stories this morning, but I just wanted to come on and expand a little bit because I've sort of been thinking about it and mulling it over some more, and I really want to share some truths with you that I hope will bless you and inspire you, because I am extraordinary. You are extraordinary. We are all extraordinary, and I wonder whether you know that. I wonder whether you feel that most of the time. We have been created extraordinary. Society and social media would like to tell you that in order to be extraordinary, you have to do extraordinary things, climb Everest or be famous by being a famous singer or an actress. It's something that I'm battling a little bit with my eldest at the moment, because she thinks that that's how you get famous, is to be an actor, even if you have zero talent, but I won't tell her that. But actually, do you know what? It's not true. We aren't extraordinary because we do extraordinary things or conquer amazing things. We are extraordinary because we have been created extraordinary. We are wonderfully made, and we're wonderfully made unique. I think this is what's so amazing and extraordinary about us. Our human bodies are absolutely individual. No two bodies are the same. No two people have the same fingerprints. You will never find somebody else in this world, now, ever since, ever before, or ever after, that will be identical to you. You are absolutely unique, and I think that makes us absolutely extraordinary, because there is no ordinary. We are all extraordinary. So when society tells you that to be right is to be slim, where's that coming from? Because we are all created differently. We are all unique. When society tells you that we have to look a certain way, that we have to have symmetry or alignment in our face, that our eyes have to match up, or who's to say that that is what is beautiful? Because we have all been created unique, and we are all extraordinary. I think we're also extraordinary just because the human body is extraordinary. I don't know whether you've ever looked into it or ever studied it at all. I remember when I was at school, I chose to do a kind of an essay on the human eye, and just how wonderful and marvellous the human eye was. So scientists and engineers have tried to replicate the human eye for robots and things for years and years and years, and they still haven't got anywhere close to being able to create the eye the same way that the human eye creates. Do you know our brain? There are still parts of our brain and ways our body functions that people do not understand, that scientists who've studied it for years and years and years do not understand how and why it works the way that it works. I took my daughter to the hospital yesterday. Turns out she's got a small fracture on her wrist. All she needs is a splint, because the body's going to do the rest for her. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that extraordinary that our body can heal itself? And when you're young, it heals faster because your cells are fresher and they're newer. Isn't it wonderful that the body that I'm in right now is not the body that I had, was it a couple of months ago? Because all of our cells are regenerating continuously. I just think it's absolutely amazing. We are all absolutely extraordinary. And if anyone tells you otherwise, then you can say to them, no, we are all extraordinary, because it's not about what we do, it's about who we are and whose we are that makes us extraordinary. So that's the first thing I want to inspire you with. We are uniquely and wonderfully made, and we're made unique and different from anybody else. And I think that alone tells us that we're extraordinary. But we're also made to live a life that is extraordinary. It's not just the top 1% of the country that's extraordinary. It's not your famous actresses and singers and your footballers and people who climb Everest or do wonderful heroic acts that are extraordinary. Every time you get up in the morning, even when you don't feel like it, and you carry on your day, and you do that to the best of your ability, then you're being extraordinary. Every time you make lunch for your children for the 100th time and they don't like what you've made, and yet you can stay calm and help them to still eat it, you're being extraordinary. Every time you go to work and you're on time and you do the work to the best of your ability, you're being extraordinary. It might feel like an ordinary and mundane life, but if you're doing it the best you can and you're in the place where you have been put and you're carrying out the purpose that you've been given, then you are being extraordinary. You're being extraordinary. Every time you give a kind word to somebody or a smile, you are acting out your extraordinariness. Don't let comparisons of your life versus someone else's, particularly those that are on social media, because it's never realistic what actually their life is like. Don't let comparisons ruin the life that you have. Don't let the comparisons make you feel inadequate and boring and ordinary. Because if you are living your life the best way that you can, if you're living your life the way that you've been given to live it, and you're being you and you're being uniquely you, then you are being extraordinary. And I just want to encourage you today that, I am not extraordinary. You are extraordinary. We are all extraordinary. And isn't it about time that we actually live lives where we are embracing our extraordinariness? We're embracing our uniqueness. We're encouraging our kids not to look at these aspirations and see that as the benchmark of what they should be, that actually it's more about discovering who they are, their uniqueness, their gifts, their talents, their abilities, their personalities. Help them to develop those extraordinary acts of kindness and gentleness and compassion and patience, because it's far more about who you are than it is about what you do. And I know that today I'm going to be carrying on thinking about that. I'm going to be living my ordinary life in an extraordinary way, and I really want to encourage you also to do the same. Have a fabulous day. Goodbye.